Hello there and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you have been here before. As you can probably tell by the title, today I am going to be trying out an anime art style for you. I actually made two art pieces for this video, both of them with an anime-esque art style, and I am excited to share them with you. So for my first piece, I drew a little bit of an interesting mashup in my opinion. I drew two characters who I don't think I've ever seen together before, but who I think would make an interesting friendship if they were ever to meet. I drew Seraphine from League of Legends, and I drew Hasune Miku. And for those of you who don't know what League of Legends is, I am going to give you a real short rundown on it right now. League or League of Legends is, I'm pretty sure, a MOBA is the type of game it is. Basically, there are 3 lanes across the map, and there's 2 teams trying to take control of the map and destroy the other team's nexus, basically, is how you win the game. I do play League, but I am very, very bad at it. I like to play ADC or support characters, or champions I mean, like Jinx and Morgana are probably my favorite to play, but I am very bad at the game, unfortunately, although I still think it's fun. Other things to know about League, it can be kind of a toxic community, but the show Arcane is actually inspired by League, and I think that's really cool. I also think that the artwork that they make for the League of Legends champions are very, very good pieces of artwork, and I really like to do studies on them. And yeah, that's about all I have to say about League. Now, if you don't know much about Miku, or Hatsune Miku, I do have to say I definitely know less about her than I do know about League champions. But to begin with, she is a 16-year-old, so she should not be sexualized, and she often is, but in my drawing, I will not be drawing her in any other way than as a minor, so just keep that in mind. She is a Vocaloid actually, and if you don't know what that is, a Vocaloid is it's almost like a robot voice, but the idea is that it was actually a real person's voice that went into making her voice, but a lot of samples were given from her voice actor, and now people can use those samples to make their own songs. And a popular song that you would probably know actually, that you don't realize is Hatsune Miku's voice, is the Neon Cat song. So if you remember that song, that is her voice. But yeah, that is Miku. She is a Vocaloid, and Seraphine is a League of Legends champ. But the two things that they, or I guess the thing that I believe these two have in common, is that they both are known as rock stars or musicians of some form. And they're both kind of bubbly personalities, so I do think that if they were to meet in real life, they would probably even be friends. So that's why I decided to draw them together today. But that is probably both enough of an explanation for you guys to kind of get the gist of what I'm drawing, and enough yapping for you guys, since we are getting up to the 3-minute mark, or just over it actually. But if you look to the screen now, you can actually see that I am still in the line art phase of this drawing. Looking back at this drawing now, because this is kind of an older drawing already, it's kind of crazy how quickly I feel the brain changes in terms of understanding anatomy. Because now when I'm looking at this, the arm looks weird to me on that Seraphine drawing right now. I feel the not the forearm, but the bicep part of the arm looks very long to me, and I feel I tend to have issues with my arm proportions. But that's okay. I feel it's okay because it's an anime art style, so maybe I can just blame it on the art style for this piece. But it's definitely something that I am noticing as I draw more and more, is that my anatomy is getting better, but whenever I look back at my old drawings, I do kind of tend to cringe just a tiny little bit. Something that I believe is worth mentioning, or at least noting, with this drawing is that I did try to kind of change how I colored in this drawing, partially because it was me trying out an anime style, but I really wanted to go for contrasty vibes, which is also partially why I picked these two characters, besides them kind of having similar qualities and characteristics. I liked that their color schemes kind of felt balanced, where Seraphine is very, very pink and Miku is very, very blue. So then in the background, as you can see, I did a split down the middle of what I thought their complementary colors would be. I think I might change them up a little bit so that they're less green and mauve. I could be wrong. They might stay that. I think they get a little bit brighter. But I think this was kind of the first time of me actually being a bit more conscious about how I was choosing colors and color theory. And since then, I have done quite a bit more thoughtful color picking choices, and I think that has improved my art quite a bit. But this is my very first try at that, so I'm not sure. I don't remember if it turned out super great, but I do think every piece is valuable because you learn so much. And I also do like this piece, I think, in the end. I like the line art especially. I don't know for sure if I do totally accomplish the anime art style. I don't think it's too far off, but I do think it's definitely lacking something a little bit. But yeah, I am getting pretty close to the coloring portion of this drawing at this point. I spent quite a bit of time just like making sure I had the details of the clothing pretty decent because this isn't like my own character and I don't know the outfits overly well. It did take me a little bit longer to like analyze what I was going off of. Miku's outfit, I think I did simplify a little bit from what she originally or normally wears, but Miku also has like, well, I guess Seraphine too. Seraphine has a lot of skins in the game, and Miku has a lot of different variations as well. Like, she also does have a pink design, so maybe it would have been interesting if I drew Miku with her pink cherry design next to Seraphine. Maybe that's an idea I'll do in the future, and then I can compare these drawings and see if I improved. But yeah, as you can see, I'm still just color blocking in the colors. I overall do go for a pretty simple coloring scheme in this drawing, just because I wanted to keep it simple, not overly blended at all. I'm pretty sure I don't blend at all actually in this drawing, besides maybe in the face. But so far, I at least think this drawing is pretty okay. I might argue that Miku is drawn in a slightly different style than Seraphine, especially just because like the eyes and the hair, which partially is because how their models and the references looked for the hair, because as you can see, Miku has like long blue hair with pigtails, and Seraphine's hair is a bit more like flowy. But I feel like the style almost looks different, like I put more lines into Miku's hair looking at this now. I maybe would have changed that if I were to draw this again. But now I think, yeah, now I'm getting into the shading. And with this drawing, I tried using a multiply layer, where I literally just duplicated the layer and then put the one above this one in, as multiply as the setting, and then I just erased where all the light would be. And I did that for both characters, as you can see. And I think that worked pretty well. As you can see, I did do a very simple shading and shadow process. But I think it looks pretty clean. I like how it turned out in this drawing. I'm just about done with it actually. Miku's just being finished up, and there goes my signatures. I had to write them a few times to make them work. But yeah, that was it. I hope you liked that drawing, because I have one more that I'm going to show you before this video is done. But yeah, so this next drawing is also going to be a piece of fan art. It's from the video game. I think it's a newer video game. It's called My Side, I believe is how you pronounce it, but the main character's name is called Mita. And this video game is about a boy who makes, I think he's a developer, he makes a game, and it's about a girl who's an anime girl named Mita, and then he actually gets pulled into the game, and the entire time you're trying to just get out of the video game, and Mita, who the game is about, is both the protagonist and the antagonist, because there's different versions of her, and I decided to draw her as like a scary Mita. So this will be my take on her. I started this drawing with doing the line art layer once again, and then I also went through, and like I did the last two drawings, I filled it all in with like a base color. I decided to use her skin color as the base color for this one, and then I did the background, and then I started color blocking, but also did fix up the line art here and there because I wasn't overly happy with it at times. Looking back, I do kind of still wish I would have just gone back and like completely redone the line art with cleaner lines, but I think the color helped a lot, although I would not be opposed to redrawing this piece now and like spending more time on it. I think I very much rushed this piece. At this point in the drawing, I do have quite a bit, if not most, of the color blocking done. I am working on the eyes at this moment in the time lapse. I think these eyes give the anime style a little bit more than my last drawings did, but that is partially because the face in this picture is a bit more of the focus and it's bigger, so I was able to put more detail in the eyes. Like I was able to add more little shinies and put the shading in and all of that, which I do think that they turned out pretty good. You have to let me know what you think though, because I feel like I tend to struggle with facial features and especially eyes just in general, It probably is something I should do a study on, because even like now, like months and months after making this drawing, I still struggle with that. But I do think that it turned out okay in this drawing. Um, Another thing of note for this drawing is I kept trying to decide if I should go for a lineless look or if I should keep the line art. In the end, I did keep the line art, and like I was saying before, I wish I did clean it up because I feel like that would have made the overall picture look more complete. Even after I finished this drawing, I feel like it almost doesn't look done because I didn't put the time into really making it look like a clean drawing. Once again, though, I am starting to reach the end of this drawing. I'm working on the shading, like the shading from the forehead. I wanted to put that in to kind of show that this was like the crazy evil Mita, because I feel like that's something that they tend to do in animes is kind of darken the face. I also, as you can see, I'm doing the hair now. I wanted to put quite a bit of detail into the hair. I wasn't exactly sure how to do that though, because I don't normally do the like hair rendering all that much. I do think I achieved the anime, or not the anime, but an anime style of rendering with the hair though. I think it looks pretty decent. And yeah, that is how my picture turned out in the end. I would really love it if you guys would let me know what you think. This was some of my first attempts at drawing the anime style, so I do apologize if a little bit is wonky. But yeah, let me know what you think, and once again, let me know if you have any ideas for future videos or future drawings. Thank you and goodbye.